Alright, what is going on, everybody? It's Jew coming to you with another video. This video, I'm going to be talking about a few things. But before I get started, let me just say I do comic book reviews, trailer reactions, film reactions, commentating podcasts, collaborations, anything recommended down below. Leave it. Join the Discord if you like with the recommendations, or whether send me a DM, anything you want to talk about, or I should be talking about, or if you want to come at me. No, I'm just playing. But yeah, hit that like, subscribe, follow, do all that good stuff. And yeah, so we'll go ahead and get started on this one. This video, I'm going to be talking about some possibilities or something that fans been asking for. And this is a character that I assume, with all the fans reaching out and talking and all the skeptical articles, or sketchy articles, I would say, they've been talking about how, like, anytime a character comes out in a certain form or fashion, there's a group of fans that will say, I want this character to play this particular role. So we saw that earlier this year. Was that this year? That was actually last year. I think that was last year. We saw where they wanted Kiki Palmer, right? What the hell just happened there? We saw where they wanted Kiki Palmer to play as, oh shit, my bad. I had it turned off. All right, so we saw they wanted Kiki Palmer to play as Rogue in Xmen. Obviously, a lot of people was like, "Oh my God, she'd be perfect for it." Well, obviously, a lot of people disagree with me. I am that guy that says no and no, because again, this is me, and I'm just not in with the race swapping thing. But it seems like today that's what people want with all the female characters. They want to change all these characters they want to change their look, their image, their everything. They want to change them. People are getting a little upset. People have said I'm being negative and all this other stuff. Well, let's just keep this story going. All right, so Saturday Night Live, apparently, which is I did not watch. I don't watch it. I don't keep up with it. I forget it even comes on. But I used to watch it as a kid. I used to be like very loyal to Saturday Night Live. Anyways, coming to Saturday Night Live, Gina Ortega played as Rogue in Saturday Night Live, and now apparently there is an article coming out saying that Gina Ortega fans want her to as MCU's Rogue after a Saturday Night Live sketch. It says hosted by Saturday Night Live, blah, blah, blah. The school versus the school sketch, some silly stuff. Anyways, I ain't even gonna really read too much into this. I'm not gonna read too much into this. You can look it up yourself if you want to. Again, fans reaching out saying they want so-and-so to play as this, so-and-so to play as this. So now it's gonna come to a Gina Ortega versus Kiki Palmer. Now here is a time where I will go the opposite direction what I would normally go. Now, you heard, well, actually, I can't even say that, because me personally, I would say I don't like race swapping. I do not want them to change these characters to black characters, whatever. People don't like that, because A, I'm a black dude, so I'm not supposed to be saying that. Second, people are too offended. They get really offended when you say stuff like, oh, don't change characters, blah, blah, blah. Right? So, with that being said, Gina Ortega is a great actress. Kiki Palmer is a great actress. Don't get me wrong. I disagree with both of them. And it's not because Gina Ortega is a Hispanic. That has nothing to do with that. It has, I mean, it can play a role. Actually, it does play a role in it. Don't get me wrong. Because, especially when you talk about Rogue, I'm going to explain in a few minutes. When you're talking about Rogue, okay. Let's see. Let's go to, actually, let me take the Rogue off. I want to get more into her. I believe she is a Hispanic. Well, she's American, but I think she is Hispanic. I don't even know these other people, but yeah, she's a Hispanic. Anyways, regardless of that, how she looks, whatever. Now we know she played as Wednesday, and she did a really good job as Wednesday. Played a really good Wednesday, actually. It was actually surprised me that they even had a standalone Wednesday film come out, and most people enjoyed it. Now, my issue with her playing as Rogue. My issue with Kiki Palmer. Actually, this is a case what I was talking about earlier. I would rather Kiki Palmer play as Rogue than Gina Ortega. Although I'm not into race swap, but if you're gonna go either route, you gotta go with Kiki Palmer. To me, Gina Ortega doesn't make sense as Rogue. Now, I didn't see the Saturday Night Live sketch. Whatever people saw, they must have thought it was great enough to put her in there. A, she's short. She is 5'1". Now, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know how tall Rogue is supposed to be. We could look it up. Let's look it up. Let's see. Rogue from Xmen. Height. Spelled it wrong. Alright, so looking this up. You can see it multiple. Alright, let's go to fan. Her name is Anne Marie. And you're talking about somebody that's 5'1". What the hell just happened? Apparently, I pressed a number. It mutes it. Okay, I must have got that set as a hotkey. You're talking about someone that's 5'1". You're talking about Gina Ortega is 5 feet 1 inches tall. And y'all want her to play as Rogue. Secondly, she's extremely young. I never really looked at Rogue as like a 23-year-old or a 22-year-old. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's different eras. You got future of the past, they were kids, and they became adults, and younger. Apparently they were all ages. I just don't see her as Rogue. I'm sorry, I don't see it. 5'1", Rogue is 5'8". According to this. Rogue is 5'8". Well, what the heck happened here? I can't even get her stats. I saw it on there. All right, well. Right here it says 5'8". Down here it says 5'8". Right here it says 5'8". So she is 5'8", and y'all want a 5'1" Gina Ortega to play as Rogue. I don't see it. The other reason, the Rogue that was in the original Xmen was trash. That was awful. I don't know whose idea that was back then when that movie came out. That was terrible. Rogue was terrible in that film. I'm sorry to say it. Like, she was like one of the least memorable characters in that film. He was like, matter of fact, I remember watching it and didn't even realize I was Rogue. I was like, dude, that's Rogue, man. I was shocked. So far they have got it wrong. And out of all three, even the old Rogue from the Xmen from 2000 and after that, to now people having ideas of it being Gina Ortega or Kiki Palmer, I say Kiki Palmer is your best bet when we're talking about this. Like, the other two is just not, well, the other one's no chance of her again. She'd just be old. But it's like, no. Another reason, she has a very, where did it say she was from? I done missed the whole Mississippi. She has a country accent. That's one thing that stood out about Rogue, especially the animated series back in the 90s. She was very country, had a very country accent. Now, I'm not saying these actors can't pick up a country accent, but you're talking about some, I just don't see it. I'm sorry I had to disagree with the fans. If this is what y'all just want to throw out names like Gina Ortega and Kiki Palmer. I'm going to go with Kiki Palmer on this one. Although y'all have heard me say I don't like the race swapping. At least I believe, now I'm not going to disagree with Gina Ortega, but I believe that Kiki Palmer can put on the country voice. Probably more closer to the age group, closer to the height. Gina Ortega would look extremely short standing next to some of the other X-Men. Now, would it be a standalone film? I don't know. People want these people to play as these people. You know, like. So if and listen, if they want to make a standalone film for these individual characters, X-Men, that's fine. They did. Deadpool was a prime example where they had Colossus and they wasn't standalone, but Colossus and Juggernaut and all these people, these other characters were appearing in these films, and that's good. All right, so moving past that, like I said, I don't see it. I don't see it. So